Hello ladies and gentlemen, Rapid Chess here, and today I want to show you a game from the Candidates 2020, which in my opinion has been decisive. It was first game where Nepo defeated Giri with black pieces, and in this Giri ended with first half with 50%, and Nepo had +2. And the second round, Giri was at some point second. Yeah, he won like 3 games in a row, but then lost a couple of games and ended like not so high. But he was actually at some point at the end of the tournament the biggest contender. Yeah, and MVL and Caruana were not actually even close to taking the first place. And I think this is something which looks like a game which we can see in the World Championship match, because this is English opening. Definitely, I think both players will try their luck in this opening, and I think that not I, but Dubov says, and I agree with him, that he says that English is like the future of chess, yeah, the opening of the future. So let's make the first moves. Knight f3, knight f6, c4. Nepo plays a lot of Grunfelds, yeah, so if you play d4, he will probably play g6. But now he is more, I think, more diverse in his opening choices. Yeah, c5. I'm not the biggest fan of the system for black. It's very drawish according to Engine, but it lacks some counterplay, and it has some counterplay, but it looks a bit dangerous for me. Knight c3, knight c6. This is I think Kasparov and Karpov played a lot of this position. d4, takes, and e6. Commentator shows that we can play g6 here, but I'm not the biggest fan of this position for playing g6, because even though any amateur or, let's say, FIDE master can play this with both colors, yeah, the top level players, they just see too much risk in giving the space away. Yeah, with e4 you take away all the center, and it's very hard to break. Yeah, and they hold this position forever, and Magnus won a lot of this, and I don't see too many players on elite level, which I only am capable to follow, go for this position with black. So e6. I've seen this move played by Gelfand, I think, and Nepo also a big fan of the system. You can Magnus also plays, but with this d4, e6, and knight f3, c5 taking over advantage. But it's like 2300 level, not more. g3. And queen b6. So this is what I'm talking about. This is again not the system I'd recommend to like a beginner, because you move out your queen and you don't move this bishop yet, and kind of you create a lot of these weak squares. Bishop f4 will be coming, knight b5. Looks like a Sicilian more to me, but with white pawn on e2 and kind of safer king for white. So knight b5, now threatening knight d6 check, knight e5, now queen defends this square, and knight attacks c4. And notice that white has played g3, so now e3 is not an option, because then all your pawns become too many weak squares. because if you play g3, it's not recommended to play e3 immediately. Yeah, you need to finish your development first, but it's not going to happen that quickly. Bishop f4, just attacking, and if you take, it's knight c2, knight c7, winning the rook. So Nepo played knight to g4, and it appears that this is also a big threat, yeah, to f2. So Giri saw it, and okay, he didn't listen to my commentary to this game, but obviously, yeah, it's the first move. a6, h3. So this all, both players don't spend time, but Nepomniachtchi is just needs a little bit more time to recall. Takes, so they exchanged the pieces. If you in this position, you cannot really go with this knight back, because after, let's say, knight d4, queen b2 wins. So you have to play toe to toe. Takes, rook c1. This position is totally equal according to engine. Black has extra pawn and white has initiative. Yeah, so this is how you actually play with white pieces. Yeah, you sacrifice a pawn, you get big initiative. King is in the center, it cannot just move away so quickly, and you win. But not that easy. d5. Now it's logical to create space for your pieces. b3 and bishop b4. I wouldn't, I think, find this move because it looks to me that this rook c1 carefully protects the knight. And it's important that Nepo found this, its first line, and he found it for like 20 minutes time. Not actually so much, given that it's a serious novelty. Rook c1 takes, rook a3. Now he pins this knight. The problem is that queen can defend it, yeah, and bishop can defend it, and then return to d4 with counterattack. But he calculated that he will win this piece. He will give away some material, and f6, queen a5. So we now have 3 attackers, and white has just 2 defenders, so it's not enough. Bishop e2, takes, and king f1, which is an exclamation mark, the final move of Giri prep. So he doesn't castle because he needs this rook over here, and actually white is playing for being exchanged down, but with g5 breaking through on the king side. So sorry, king f1 is important move, and in this position Nepo found the best move. I don't know, the engines, they show zeros, but one move is above others. So what does it mean? I don't really understand. Yeah, but I think that if you found the first line move, it's much better than the second line move, even though they're all draws. Yeah, so you found b4. So it's much the idea is, let's make such move. Yeah, if bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes here, and queen takes. Yeah, and actually now material is equal, but king hasn't castled, and king can castle, but the problem is that queen is much more active in the center. But with this b4, with b4, then now this pawn is protected, yeah, and if you take, then he can take here, and this position is considered to be better for black. Yeah, and Nepo found it on the board. It's not doesn't look really difficult, but it's really what matters. Yeah, to play the small moves. G5. Let's move quicker. E5 takes. Queen to B1, defending the pawn and attacking on A7. Queen C7. Again, I cannot say that black's position is so winning because I don't like black's king. I like that white has a good king, and I like that the rook is active. Yeah, but yeah, this pawn is somewhat a problem. Giri started thinking here on his own. He decided to go for the pawn because he didn't find how to attack. Yeah, and props to Nepo. Yeah, that he defends like an engine basically. Yeah, because he's king in the center, and you want to automatically like play castling move. Yeah, and he just stays here and he just says that okay, I will defend everything, like really ancient style. So Giri took the pawn. He played e4 because you don't want to let black play like defend their center and then attack. So he attacks it straight away. Bishop e6. Now the position is so he made a mistake here. The staking would be probably a draw, I think, because this pawn is good actually, not easy to win, and I think he can move his he has this bishop e2 move, for instance, yeah, and exchange will bring him an easy draw, I guess, because he has his trump here. But he wanted to win, I think. Still he played with the rook, keeping the queens on board, because objectively yeah, you know that you cannot just move the king, keep it in the center. Takes, and finally Nepo plays castles. Yeah, engine shows that this king f7 is a bit better, but he lost the tempi. But I think it turned out really great for him because he, I think, provoked Giri to play this, which is a mistake. Yeah, if you take the bishop, then it's a draw. Yeah, and the bishop is pinned, and if you defend it with king, I mean, you're losing because of bishop e6. So it looks like that white will have time to, you know, get rid of this spin, but king g7, and you cannot take here because your queen is hanging. So he played queen b3. So there are many variations here. Queen b4 is also like considered, and this position, just amazing move. Bishop c4, threatening mate and attacking this rook. Yeah, just yeah, chess is amazing. Yeah, and if you take here, you get mated on h1. So just a lot of, I mean, I can explain more, so let's go forward. Check. So this is what's happened. Yeah, just Giri didn't find a way to avoid losing material, because his queen is attacked, his bishop is also vulnerable. If you play like back, then it's yeah, bishop f5. Yeah, if you play queen c3, then probably rook c8. Rook c8 also wins. Yeah, again you win with this spin against this queen. So so Giri actually played a good move. He gave up a queen for two pieces, and objectively it's a draw. And this a good funny variation here. I think place here, check, looks like white is winning, queen back, because if black takes here, then white wins, yeah. But black here has an intermezzo check, and after this you take the rook and it's winning. So Nepo calculated everything, and so let's quickly see, because I cannot explain this, but what I can say that again, engine shows that white can defend. However, I mean, if I would play with white, I would think that it's totally lost. And Giri, props to him, he defended very well until he tried at every point to save the game. But it's just too much. The too much is because he has this 3 pawns and queen can very well attack with if it has an extra pawn, yeah, here. If these pawns are exchanged, I think it's a pretty easy draw. But with this extra pawn, and this pawn is not going really, so he just pushes it, and there is a lot of checks, yeah. So you can take everything. Okay, so he took. Probably he didn't see how to defend. There was a lot of also studying how to win, but it's not like for this discussion. Let's just end up this game here. Now he breaks through with the king, because you cannot, if you keep it here, check. Yeah, it's already queen f4, g3, so he will win this pawn at least, yeah. Okay, so Giri defended. c3, and yeah, this is nice. Every move wins, but at some point you give away the queen. If you take, then pawn takes, yeah, and then king c3, yeah, and our pawn has passed. So so now he gets his king, and he took this rook here, and this position Giri resigned, yeah, because if he continues, then here not you can play this way, but important to play that, but you can win with one move, and it's winning. All right, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.